Is Ukraine trying to provoke a direct war between the US and Russia? I'm asking that question tonight because Ukraine has accused Russia of firing an intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time in the war. You heard that right, an ICBM, a weapon primarily designed to deliver nuclear weapons. You see, ICBMs are considered among the most lethal weapons capable of destroying an entire country. So if what Ukraine is saying is true, it would mark the first known instance in history where an ICBM has been used on an active battlefield, in a way. But Western officials are not convinced. They have cast doubts over Ukraine's claims. Even Russia, for that matter, has refused to comment on it. So what's really going on? Is Ukraine lying? Is Ukraine trying to provoke a direct conflict between the US and Russia? Let's dive straight into it. Here's what we know so far. Following days of escalated tensions in the battlefield, Ukraine has now claimed that Russia fired the ICBM at the city of Dnipro. Ukraine's Air Force, in fact, said the launch took place from Russia's Astrakhan region, an area to the southeast of Volgograd, bordering on the Caspian Sea. For the unversed, an ICBM, or an intercontinental ballistic missile, they are weapons capable of striking targets thousands of miles away. Like I said earlier, ICBMs are designed to deliver nuclear warheads. However, they can also be equipped with conventional warheads, making them versatile weapons in strategic as well as tactical military operations. Ukrainian Air Defense Forces reported that the missile was fired together with 7 Kh-101 cruise missiles. The Russian ICBM did not contain a nuclear warhead. It reportedly targeted the southern city of Dnipro, but some reports cited Western officials denying Ukrainian claims that Russia fired an ICBM. In fact, American news channel ABC News reported that a Western official described Ukraine's claim as an exaggeration. The unnamed official said that the weapon used was in fact a shorter-range ballistic missile, similar to the types used repeatedly by Russia against Ukraine. According to these reports, Western officials say that Russian ICBMs have ranges of more than 6,200 miles. In theory, that range is enough to reach the US East Coast. They are also capable of being nuclear armed, suggesting that if the use of the weapon is indeed confirmed, it would be a huge signal from Moscow. But again, is Ukraine telling lies? If yes, what purpose would that serve? Sure, Russia has used nuclear-capable missiles to attack Ukraine, but these have been of shorter ranges. Russian forces have used short-range ballistic missiles like Iskander, hypersonic missile like Kinzhal. Both, by the way, can carry nuclear warheads. But an ICBM, that's a whole new ball game. Developed in the 1950s at the height of the Cold War, ICBMs were basically built as a way for the former Soviet Union and the US to threaten each other's populations directly with nuclear weapons. According to US congressional research estimates, in fact, Russia has 326 ICBMs in its nuclear arsenal. 326. Russia holds the world's largest stockpile of nuclear weapons, narrowly surpassing the US. But no country had fired one in a war before. So if Russia did launch an ICBM, did satellites not detect it? And that is why some Western officials are expressing skepticism over Ukraine's claim. After all, the range of an ICBM sounds a bit excessive, to say the least, for use against Ukraine. And when asked about Ukraine's claim during the daily press briefing, the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, declined to comment on the specific ICBM reports. Peskov said that Russia is committed to avoiding nuclear war, but the West also has the responsibility not to engage in provocative actions. Russia's state news agency TASS quoted the Kremlin spokesperson as saying, and I'm quoting here, "We have emphasized in the context of our nuclear doctrine that Russia takes a responsible position in terms of making maximum efforts to prevent such a nuclear conflict. We expect that other countries will also take the same responsible position and not engage in provocative actions, quote unquote. Although it's not clear what type of ICBM was really used, R-36 SS-18 Satan range, the range is 10,200 to 16,000 kilometers. The status is operational. Then there's also RS-24 YARS, YARS, SS-27 Mod 2, range being 10,500 kilometers. The status is operational. And then there is also RS-26 Rubez range, 2,000 to 5,800 kilometers being the range. The status is in development. RS-28 Sarmat, the range is 10,000 plus kilometers. The status in development. Topol SS-25 Sickle, the range is 11,000 plus kilometers. It is operational. Topol M SS-27 Mod 1, the range is 11,000 kilometers. It is again operational. UR-100 SS-19 Stiletto, the range is 10,000 kilometers. It is also operational. The next question is, if Russia fired an ICBM, what really triggered this grave provocation? Why would Moscow resort to firing an ICBM? You see, Russia's alleged use of the ICBM follows Ukraine's use of American ATACMS missiles, reportedly, and British Storm Shadow missiles to strike Russian territory. In response to the ATACMS strikes, Russia modified its nuclear doctrine. Russia lowered its threshold for the first use of nuclear weapons to send a stern warning to America, Ukraine's primary backer. In fact, Russia also accused the Biden administration of increasing the risks of World War III by crossing the so-called red lines. You see, before the war started and during its course, Russia has repeatedly warned the West about arming Ukraine with long-range weapons and firing them at Russian territory. And for a long time, the U.S. hesitated to cross Russia's so-called red lines. However, this week, Russia's buildup of troops along Ukraine's eastern front line, combined with incoming President Donald Trump's promise to end the war, seem to have changed the Biden administration's position. But at what cost? In its commitment to defend Ukraine, has Biden unnecessarily aggravated Russia? Has he plunged the Ukraine war and, in turn, the rest of the world into more chaos and more destruction? You see, already Russia has added the recently opened U.S. missile defense base in Poland to its list of priority strike targets. During a weekly briefing on Thursday, the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova was asked to comment on the new U.S.-NATO anti-missile base in the Polish village. Poland had said that the new NATO facility was directly aimed against Russia. And responding to this, the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said, and I'm quoting, "Given the nature and the level of threats posed by such Western military facilities, the missile defense base in Poland has long been added to the list of priority targets for potential destruction, which, if necessary, can be executed with a wide range of advanced weapons," quote unquote. Now, it's clear that nearly 3 years after the outbreak of the Ukraine war, tensions between the NATO and Russia have reached a boiling point. With only days remaining in his presidency, Biden has undoubtedly intensified tensions and, in a way, provoked Russia. He will leave the situation more volatile than ever, in a way, before he exits the White House. Can the incoming President Donald Trump take decisive action and actually put an end to the war like he promised? And if not, the situation could spiral completely out of control, risking the onset of a larger conflict, a World War III. The world is closely watching. All eyes are on what comes next. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.